Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I did mention just now that I recognized a few faces from, or a few names from this morning, so it's good to have you back. And you already know all of the housekeeping rules, so just bear with me. But I'm super excited to have all of you here for our first meetup series with Shopify, and what will hopefully not be our last. So this meetup series is specifically geared towards Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And our whole goal is to just help merchants in South Africa just feel a little bit more ready and prepared for what has become the busiest season in e-commerce, not only here, but around the world. So before I get into the talk for today, or for this afternoon, I just want to go over some housekeeping rules. So you guys will see that you are all muted and that you are unable to unmute yourself. So this is kind of just to keep a little bit of control and just to make sure that there's no background noise and so on. If you would like to switch on your video, you're welcome to do that. But I also know that it might be a little bit uncomfortable, so it's completely up to you. But we do love to see all of your faces, so it's not a problem. We have the chat function that is going to be running the whole time. So please introduce yourselves, chat to each other, ask tons of questions, and then I'm just going to keep an eye on that. I'll reply where needed. Otherwise, I will take all of the questions that you have and we'll direct them to Nadine in the Q&A session afterwards. If you have any other issues or something's not working or something's not looking right, you can just, in the chat, you can just send me something privately and I will try my best to figure it out. Okay, so how this is going to work is after my introduction, I'm going to hand over to Nadine. She's then going to do her talk, and once she's done, we're going to go into a Q&A session where I'm going to take your questions and I'm going to direct them at Nadine and have a discussion around that. Okay, cool. So the speaker for today is Nadine Swart. She is the head of business development at iLead et al. They are a Google Premier Partner and experts in lead generation with Google and YouTube advertising. But what I'm going to do now is just hand over to Nadine and she can introduce herself further and she can tell you all about what we will be discussing today. Thank you, Nadine.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Danica. Okay, guys, so today I will be talking to you about the online space and Google advertising for Black Friday and Cyber Monday 2020. And my scrolling is not working. Sorry, guys, just give me a second. It doesn't seem to go to the next slide. There we go. Okay, so before I start off, I first just want to chat to you guys about who I am and, yeah, essentially who am I to be speaking to you guys about online marketing today. So as Danica has introduced me, my name is Nadine Swart. I work in business development for a market-leading online marketing agency called iLead et al. So this basically includes me compiling strategies for new clients and at all times evaluating new technology and platforms to onboard for the purpose of driving growth for our clients online. A large part of my work is to collaborate with Google and ensure that we are always on top of new trends and features to bring results to our clients' campaigns. I've been in the advertising industry for 9 years now and started out in experiential marketing. But since making the move to digital marketing a couple of years ago, I have been in love with the industry. So some of the reasons for this is the targeted nature of these campaigns, its efficacy in utilizing clients' budgets more effectively, and the measurability and knowing exactly where a client's money went and what they got for it in return. So just a bit on iLead et al. We have been in the online marketing game since 2006, and we have grown to be one of the leading digital marketing agencies in South Africa. As a Google Premier Partner, we have access to a dedicated team of product experts at Google who actively work with us and provide the necessary support and insights to ensure clients' campaigns always perform. So these services include, as Danica has mentioned, Google Ads or pay-per-click advertising, search engine optimization, YouTube video marketing, and of course, everything that goes along with them. We also participate in the Google Premier Partner Awards every year, which is basically a performance-driven award hosted in Dublin, Ireland, where we compete with the whole of EMEA. This includes Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. We've been nominated every year since 2015, but 2017, 18, and 19, we were the only agency in South Africa to be nominated. And this was a big honor for us, but I was just complaining to Danica how they canceled 2020's awards, so I guess we'll only be participating again next year. Okay, but enough about us. Let's start by having a look at the current landscape and seeing how this affects Black Friday and Cyber Monday 2020. So we can see that participation in Black Friday has steadily been increasing year on year, with 60% of South Africans actively purchasing on Black Friday in 2017. By 2019, this number had increased to 16%, or increased by 16%. And in 2020, it is predicted to be a record year for this annual sale period, not only for South Africa, but globally. In the past 5 years, interest in Black Friday and Cyber Monday has grown by 117% globally. This number in South Africa, however, is a staggering 9,900%. So I guess we can say that this pretty much went from practically non-existent to being a household concept in just 5 years. Personally, I remember chatting to my clients about Black Friday back in 2016, where they would deliberate on whether they would participate that year or not. However, today, this is a non-negotiable for most companies. In preparation for the 2019 Black Friday Cyber Monday period, it was established that 63% of South Africans were aware of Cyber Monday. 76 of them were planning to shop on Cyber Monday, whereby 65% had already shopped on a Cyber Monday in the years before. Considering the type of items typically purchased on Black Friday Cyber Monday, from 2018 to 2019, there was between a 14 and 16% growth in the categories for food items, electronics and appliances, and beauty accessories, with electronics and appliances usually being the top seller. Clothing and footwear, however, saw a 2% decline in sales, mainly due to online purchasing frustrations experienced with these items. So historically, people who purchased clothing and footwear during Black Friday or Cyber Monday did so in store. I'm excited to see how that changes this year. So the big question is, what does 2020 have in store for us? Well, looking at the online shopping trends from 2019 to 2020 thus far, it is indicative of significant growth in 3 main categories. This being consumer electronics, home and garden, and fashion. The growth experienced is mainly due to the restrictions related to COVID-19, but I personally expect to see this becoming a more permanent trend due to traditionally in-store shoppers being forced to trial online shopping and finding that it is actually not all that bad. So before we can have a look at 2020, we need to consider a statistic that I personally find quite surprising. And this is also indicative of either a low market maturity towards online shopping, or rather poor execution by e-commerce retailers themselves. And by doing this, they end up driving shoppers back to brick and mortar stores. So even though we saw great growth in participation in Black Friday, Cyber Monday, most of these people still prefer to do their Black Friday shopping in-store. In 2019, 67% of Black Friday shoppers participated exclusively in-store, with only 12% exclusively preferring online shopping. And we can see that there was a 21% overlap of people that did a combination between online and in-store shopping. So the question I asked myself here was, why are we seeing this trend? 67% of in-store shoppers, or exclusively in-store shoppers, is quite a staggering amount. So this might be due to 4 in every 10 shoppers experiencing web page issues that negatively impact their shopping experience. Looking at these stats outside of a Black Friday environment, we see that in 2020 thus far, 66% of online shoppers are reporting that they are experiencing issues while conducting online shopping. This is compared to 56% in 2019. A personal observation here for me would be that there are now more e-commerce businesses that are being forced to enter the market this year due to restrictions on their traditionally brick and mortar stores during COVID-19. Even though this is a fact that excites me as a professional in the digital world, seeing South African businesses take a much needed leap towards a more online situated world, this also poses its own issues in terms of these businesses not taking, or rather having, the time to execute these new platforms properly. They also did not have the time to gather the learnings and optimize the online experience for their users like other more experienced online retailers could. And in my opinion, this resulted in the increase in online shopping issues we see depicted above, purely being a result of the volumes that we are seeing this year. So out of the three main categories, home and garden saw shoppers experiencing the most amount of issues. What issues were they experiencing? Well, majority of the shoppers were experiencing issues related to having to register or log in before they were able to check out. And honestly, I can completely feel their pain. The response time of customer support being too long. Considering that these shoppers are already feeling vulnerable in an impersonal and digital world, this is something that could rapidly exacerbate their concerns. And thirdly, independent product reviews being hard to find. We need to remember that credibility is so important for an online store, and users trust other past users' experience when it comes to this. In 2020, 87% of people are doing research online before deciding on a product to buy. For consumer electronics, this increases to 93%. Interestingly enough, this trend seems to persist in in-store shopping. For many products, people are even researching a product online and then still going in-store to actually purchase the product. Or we are even finding that an increased number of shoppers who find a desirable product in-store research the product on their mobile devices while standing in-store before deciding to make the purchase. And I'm one of these people. They look at specs such as reviews and ratings on the product they are considering, brand and product comparisons, and most importantly, price comparisons. So this person could be standing in incredible connection looking at a laptop, for example, and can go on their cell phone, look at Game, Macro, I want to say Dion White, but they don't exist anymore. But anyway, looking at other retailers for the same product. If they end up finding that product for a cheaper price or a better deal elsewhere, they are very likely to leave that store and go purchase it in another store. So you can see how online really plays a very big role, even in in-store shopping. So with that being said, we live in an age where people have been affected by COVID-19 and their purchasing behavior has been impacted. Currently, we see 26% of consumers who are shopping online with a store or retailer they had not before COVID-19. What does this mean for us? Simply put, brand loyalty has been compromised. People are actively looking for the best prices on products they are shopping for. In support of this statement, Google has reported that 47% of people shopping with a new brand or retailer did so as a result of a more favorable price, followed by the fact that they could obtain the item there faster. I promised myself that I would not focus this talk on COVID-19, as I'm sure, just like me, most of you have pretty much had enough. But the reality is, unfortunately, that it is highly likely by the time Black Friday and Cyber Monday hits, we will still be restricted, and the effects of COVID-19 would not have subsided. So, who are the big spenders? From past Black Fridays, we can see that majority of shoppers are between the ages of 24 and 36, closely followed by the 37 to 48 age group. And big surprise, females make up just over 50% of them. Lastly, it is important to note, as I think most of the businesses in this session already know, Black Friday and Cyber Monday has proven to lead to a low December sales month, whether the retailer participated in the sale or not. We have seen since Black Friday has really become very prominent in South Africa that it really signifies the start of holiday shopping already. People are no longer waiting to December to start with this. Okay, so now that we have a better idea of the landscape we are dealing with, let's explore the predictions for Black Friday and Cyber Monday 2020. Challenges have always presented an opportunity for innovation, and we've seen plenty of that happen since COVID-19 hit. While Black Friday has certainly changed a lot over the years, it's going to look extra different this November as we try to navigate a world where it's not safe to crowd a bunch of people into an enclosed store. So to quote Mashable, Black Friday is going to be weird this year, and that's a good thing. So the first prediction for Black Friday this year is a Black November. I think this has been creeping into reality for a while now, with Black Friday sales being extended by many retailers in the past. In 2019, we saw 78% of shoppers engaging in Black Friday sales that started earlier in November before the actual day. In 2020, we expect to see many retailers deploying a Black November strategy as a way to try and make up for lost sales earlier in the year. We also expect shoppers to take advantage of this due to being cash-strapped and saving their money to access bargains over this time. Again, I know I'm one of these people. I am in the market for a dishwasher and I'm not buying it right now. I'm waiting to see what's happening on Black Friday first. And I think there are a lot of people following that same strategy, especially this year. Secondly, we expect to see higher retailer participation. Again, due to lost sales earlier this year during hard lockdown and the echoing effects thereof, many retailers might not have a choice in participating in Black Friday, Cyber Monday this year. This, on top of the standard annual growth in retailer participation that we usually see, makes for an extra engaged year. Thirdly, we expect for it to be reported as a record year for Black Friday online sales. As we know, stores are likely to still be restricted in terms of the amounts of people entering the store simultaneously. And best case scenario, this being lifted, we don't expect shoppers to feel safe doing so regardless, leaving online shopping as the safer alternative. And this leading me to the fourth prediction, being that shoppers are likely to encounter more online shopping issues than usual due to the sheer volume of people trying to access these online platforms. Also, more and longer delivery delays as a result of an influx in Black Friday being done online. I would like to touch on an incredible platform I believe can aid retailers in driving Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales online more effectively, naming Google Shopping, or more specifically, Google Smart Shopping. To start off, let's watch a quick video of what Google Smart Shopping is exactly.
Selling your products on Google has never been easier. Introducing Smart Shopping Campaigns. Smart Shopping Campaigns uses Google's machine learning technology to automatically drive sales and reach shoppers across Google's sites and networks. Just set your campaign goal, and Google will take care of the rest, showing the right products from your inventory to the right customers at the right time. Smart Shopping Campaigns will automatically optimize to find customers who are more likely to convert and spend more. In early testing, advertisers who used Smart Shopping Campaigns drove over 20% more conversion value at a similar cost. Smart Shopping Campaigns will save you time while helping you reach your business goal, so you can get back to what matters most to your business.
Okay, so Smart Shopping Campaigns are a new campaign type for retailers that uses machine learning to drive simplicity, performance, and reach. These new campaign types radically simplify campaign management to enable you to reach high-value shoppers without having to invest more time or effort to do so. It achieves performance by optimizing campaigns according to your objectives, and achieves reach by combining Google Shopping and remarketing to reach customers on search, display, YouTube, and Gmail. We often make the mistake of being so focused on generating new customers that we forget to continue mining and retaining existing ones. Google Smart Shopping does this by identifying current high-value customers and targeting them with other products, helping us to cross-sell. Or new product launches to encourage further spending by using dynamic remarketing that adjusts the ad for them to see the products that they have previously engaged with. Smart shopping campaigns work by leveraging Google's ability to process lots of data with advanced machine learning. These campaigns start by continuously analyzing Google's insights on user queries, along with your insights on your own audiences, brands, products, and basket size, for example, to determine patterns that correlate with online conversion values. And then at the auction time, we know that Google works in the form of bidding. So when it comes to auction, falling over my own tongue today. When it comes to the actual auction time, when it's time to bid, smart shopping campaigns use all of these insights that it has gathered to decide whether the user is likely to provide high value or how much it should bid to maximize that value, which product is the right product to show, and even whether to show that ad in the first place. Smart shopping campaigns reach users on search, display, YouTube, and Gmail, as mentioned, and this really helps us to provide a true omni-channel approach. So not just focusing on targeting people on one channel, but having all of these channels work together towards the same goal, essentially. In order to be successful, us as e-commerce businesses must find the most effective way to acquire new customers. And I'm sure that we have noticed by now that relying solely on waiting for a customer to seek out your product often is not enough to achieve your growth goals. Smart shopping campaigns help you to automatically find these new customers by showing your ads not only to customers who have searched for your products or maybe spent time on your site, but targeting customers based on their recent online behavior. So you have a new potential customer with a user profile of interests with Google that smart shopping can then pull from in order to show these dynamic ads based on the products they might specifically be interested in. So I mentioned earlier that dynamic remarketing is all about existing users who have already been to your site at least once. Here you can see a user that visits a site and views product that they are interested in. Soon after leaving that site and not converting, they receive an ad with many of these same products shown in them. This is the perfect scenario. So we have a lot of data on what that user specifically looked on at your site. And we can then use this to create beautiful, compelling, dynamic remarketing ads that showcase these same products to them to entice them to come back to your site and finish the purchase, instead of just showing them a generic brand message. So taking a step back, let's look at the overall dynamic ad in general. We can see a picture of what that looks like over here. And dynamic ads feature an array of products showcased based on an advertiser's provided feed. You already have a feed of products available on your website, and that's what this pulls from. This is a retail example here, but at the end of the day, the ad can easily be adapted to many different verticals or industries, where it might showcase or focus on only two, or in some cases, even just one product. For example, in some cases in travel, you might only want to focus on one hotel or destination offering. Okay, so this was a mouthful. I think what we basically just need to take another step back. So this might be or sound quite overwhelming, especially for those of you who are not very familiar with Google advertising. But just to simplify and summarize Google Smart Shopping for you. Firstly, it combines its own machine learning and insights it has on those potential shoppers by accessing 6 properties, being, let's say, take for example, Gmail, YouTube, Google Chrome, Google Play Store, all of these properties that Google has access to, it can access and pull user data from. It then pulls these insights from these platforms it has access to on each specific user's behavior, like what their interests are, what they might have recently been in the market for. Are they looking at reviews for red Converse shoes on YouTube, for example? And this might indicate that they have a high intent towards buying a pair of Converse shoes. This is an example of one of the insights that it can pull. It can then combine this with the data and insights that you already have gathered on your own website, like, for example, what your own basket size is and the type of profiled user that would typically convert on your site. It then makes an informed decision via machine learning on what combination of images and ads to show, who to show these to, and whether it should show the ad at all. If the person in question is not showing a high enough intent, it would rather save your budget by not showing your ad to them, so that it can rather show your ad at a later stage to someone who is showing a higher intent. So, for example, the person who was looking at reviews on red shoes, if that's something that you're selling, it would show your ad to that person rather than showing it to someone who has not been researching it at all. Further, it remarkets your ads to users who have already been on your site, not by showing them a banner with a generic Converse, come look at our cool shoes type of ad, but rather targeting them with an ad that's showcasing the exact product that they viewed on your site, making these remarketing ads highly relevant to the individual seeing them. These ads are compiled by Google pulling product images from your existing feed on your site with existing descriptions, meaning that you don't have to spend time or money on designing these. So we can really see how Google Smart Shopping can help you guys operate a lot more effectively over Black Friday without that additional time investment. I can see us getting lots of questions on this one, so I'm looking forward to chatting to you guys about it. Okay, so as an agency, we have run many Black Friday and Cyber Monday campaigns in the past, and this has led to valuable learnings and insights that I would like to share with you guys today. So if you haven't been taking notes, this is where to start. Okay, so not to be alarming, but start search advertising for Black Friday in September already. There are many people who start searching for Black Friday deals early on in anticipation of the big day. Catch these early birds by ensuring your website comes up in these searches. By doing this, you can start building audiences to use in your marketing closer to the time. And of course, cost per clicks for the relevant keywords in September are also still low and very affordable. So September has passed. Let's not panic. There is still time. It's not too late, but I would advise getting your campaigns up and running as soon as possible. Allow, but also encourage registration for early access. By encouraging people to supply their details for access to early deals, you're building a pipeline early on that you can market to closer to the time. But you're also building a database you can market to long after Black Friday and Cyber Monday has passed. A good way to achieve this is adding a simple pop-up on your website, asking a visitor or whether a visitor would like to register for communication on deals. This catches high-intent shoppers who are already spending time on your site, and the best part is the details that these guys are supplying is, of course, free. In mid-October, start your teaser campaigns, showcasing the deals that they could possibly come across later on. And you can start showcasing this across Google Discovery, YouTube, and the Google Display Network to build both awareness and anticipation. Start selling earlier. People will still buy due to a fear of loss and not knowing whether the deals will still be available on the day. But more importantly, by spreading out your sale, not just focusing on one specific day, this puts less pressure on your site and deliveries following Black Friday, really helping you to execute this more effectively. Okay, so to recap, whilst considering the sales funnel, by starting search in September, or in this case October, if you guys haven't already started, you can influence consideration early on. Then, by deploying display, discovery, YouTube, and even email marketing campaigns during mid-October, you can generate awareness and encourage consideration amongst undecided shoppers. Then, starting sales early on in November will enable you to drive action amongst potential shoppers you have reached. If you have a limited budget, instead of running your ads all day, every day, rather plan for the most optimal times. When it comes to the actual day of Black Friday or even the day before, those cost per click seems to be very, very high. So it's a good idea maybe to focus on certain key times where you know you're going to get the most out of those campaigns running. Okay, so these times are on Black Friday between 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning. Very, very dedicated people. I'm definitely not one of them. Between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock in the morning, and again from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. These times are verified by Standard Bank, looking at the times when the most credit card transactions came through, and by Google in terms of when the most search volumes for the related keywords came through on that day. But also, as an agency that have run many of these campaigns in the past, we can also confirm that these times are most popular across multiple of our clients' industries. Still on the topic of a limited budget, make the most of your Google spends by staying away from bidding on expensive generic search phases. These could be things like Black Friday deals or best Cyber Monday specials. These generic searches often lead to lots of clicks, costing you money, but attract low intent shoppers with a low chance of converting and effectively making you money. So it's always a good idea to focus on more specific terms like the exact product that you have on sale. People looking or searching for this exact product are usually a lot more serious on to actually buy it. Just to quickly touch on, let's not forget about social media. Facebook ads are very effective in expanding your digital reach and further utilizing the marketing mix. Consider the following social media statistics. So 96% of app usage on a mobile phone are social networking apps. There are currently 22 million active social media users in South Africa. And there has been a 19% increase in social media ad spend between 2019 and 2020, and for good reason. Just like Google, Facebook is ever changing and improving on the opportunities available to advertise your product more efficiently. Facebook also integrates with Instagram seamlessly, and this just takes your digital footprint even further. When it comes to social media advertising, video is king. 6 out of every 10 people prefer watching online videos instead of television. 85% of adults use multiple devices at the same time. I am definitely on my phone while I'm watching TV. Viewers retain 95% of a message when they watch it through video. So when advertising on social media, ensure that you have quality video content to position your products in the best way. It is a common misperception that creating video content is expensive and inaccessible, but by leveraging platforms such as Canva and Bitsable, video content is just a few clicks away, so it really doesn't have to cost you thousands of rands. Lastly, I would like to just reiterate the importance of making sure that your after-sales execution is on point. With something like delivery issues after Black Friday, you run the risk of getting a bad rap on social media afterwards, which is a lasting effect on your business and credibility. So don't just plan for high sales, but consider the end-to-end user experience as well. Okay, so SEO is not really a topic that comes up very often when Black Friday and Cyber Monday is being planned. But a simple way of driving quality traffic to your site organically is, and this you have to start in advance, unfortunately, but writing and optimizing content on your website, such as perhaps an article on Black Friday tips. In this case, something more generic is a good thing. These key phrases usually have high searches and high clicks to your site, but not many of your competitors might be focusing on them, which makes it fairly easy to rank organically. Okay, well, that is me. Thank you so much for having me. It was lovely engaging with all of you, but I would though like to just offer the opportunity for questions if there are any.
Thank you, Nadine. Wow, that was a lot of information. That's insane.
I told you to take notes.
I'm so glad you told me to start taking notes because I really
Yeah.
did.
Just sorry, Danica, before you dive in, I know, as Danica said, this was a lot of information. So what we've actually done at iLead is we've done some short videos covering most of this content, and we've posted that on our social media profiles and LinkedIn as well. So if you guys do want to review, it is available there.
Awesome. Thank you. So what you can do is maybe you can add that link into the chat so that everyone can access that. In the meantime, does anyone have any questions? I know that was a lot of information, so it might just need some time for absorption. Everyone says it was excellent. Nadine, you're a champion.
Thanks so much, guys.
I have to say, I love that idea of, you know, encouraging people to sign up for these deals in advance and for that kind of information. So my fiance and I are getting married in April, and we're looking at things like fridges. It sounds bizarre, but if somebody like, you know, the Macros of the world would offer something like that, you know, I'd be first in line. So
yeah.
Okay, so there's no questions coming through, but I actually do have a question. So I know that Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I mean, I know it's still over a month away, but for a lot of people, that isn't a lot of time considering everything else that they need to do. What would you recommend are small but easy to implement steps that people should be taking just to, you know, kind of try and start implementing those things that you suggested, but maybe not at that scale?
Sure. So I think the good thing of all of these that we went through is, and again, we've run lots of these campaigns, but we followed the strategy both for very big clients, like, I can't mention names, but very big retailers. But we've also followed the same strategy for very small clients. So I think that what I've mentioned now really works good for both SMEs and larger businesses, obviously just being done on a different scale. So I do obviously understand that not everyone has these huge budgets to implement, but starting something easy like building that database, as we've just discussed, is a very good way of doing that, and starting to run those small search campaigns and using those tips in terms of not focusing on maybe the entire country or every single day, 24 hours a day, but starting to be very focused and very targeted in your approach and really deciding who that person is that you want to target. I think it's a very difficult thing for us as businesses to do because we all have FOMO, or a fear of missing out, and we want to target everyone at all times. But I think that's maybe the first step, being honest with yourself and really deciding who it is that you want to talk to. And that's a good way of, you know, at least just getting the activity started and not spending an arm and a leg in doing so.
Cool, thank you. I have a question here. What's that link again? So you can just let me know and I will send it through.
I have it here. I am posting it for you guys.
And then I actually have a question for you here from Jared. So just let me know once you're ready.
There we go.
Thank you so much. Okay, so from Jared, what are your thoughts on eco-friendly and reusable products for Black Friday deals, and how to go about implementing campaigns for social media awareness prior to Black Friday?
This is a very good subject for me because I'm recently on a drive for these kinds of things. So well done. We need more people like you. Yeah, I think around marketing these items, to be completely honest with you, I think, as I said, there's a big drive for these kinds of things. So that usually is within marketing your product. It is a very specific market that you are going to be speaking to. And highlighting these kinds of things as a USP or a unique selling proposition really is a very good start. So I think when it comes to Google search advertising, so advertising your products and making sure that you pull these into your keywords and into your ad text. So I might be going over some people's head here, but you know, if someone searches, for example, I don't know, let's use eco-friendly toothbrush. So someone searches for a toothbrush, you have coming up on Google, you have your title and then you have your description. So working these kinds of things like eco-friendly, reusable, recyclable, whatever might be relevant to you, working those keywords into the ad text is a very good way to do that. And that will also help you rank more, better organically and drive more traffic to the site as well. I think when it comes to social media advertising, I really like social media advertising. Obviously, we focus more on Google, but I think social media is a very good way to get your products out there very effectively at a much more affordable cost than Google often comes in. However, we do need to remember that Google is obviously a lot more, usually a lot higher intent. These are people who are pretty much looking to buy those products immediately. So I'm hoping that answers your question.
Thanks, Nadine. Another question here for you. Does one still have time to find a new niche for Black Friday, Cyber Monday?
So I'm not sure whether you want to find a new product or if you have an existing product and want to redefine the market that you're focusing in. Time is running out. However, I think, as I said, it's not too late. Preferably start in September, but if you haven't, October is still a good time. It would depend. I think a good way to, if you do want to find a new niche and look at which markets are possibly good to focus on, there's a good tool called Google Market Finder. If you maybe want to have a look in that, where you can put your website in, the type of products that you're focusing on. It then has a look at different markets, either within South Africa or internationally, and it can tell you which of those markets have a need for your product based on the searches that are coming through. In terms of, I think the time is very, very little. So if you do want to find a new niche at this stage, I think it might be a little bit too late. But it completely depends on how big a change you want to make. I mean, if it's a small change or an addition, then of course you can still do that. But I think it's a very difficult question to answer. It completely depends on your specific product also, because I think a lot of certain products and industries are a lot more flexible than others.
Absolutely. I think what also is playing a big role this year is that we've heard from so many merchants that we work with that they, like you mentioned, aren't necessarily only doing a Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend, but rather running sales throughout the month of November. And that, of course, changes the timeline completely. Because usually you have those additional 3 weeks in November leading up to that weekend to still do a lot of prep work, and all of a sudden this timeline's just moved up a lot. So I think that
absolutely. I'm not sure what day Warwick Kearns from the Ensaka e-commerce academy is speaking, but you guys need to attend that. He's very, very good. But one of the things I think that he always says, so maybe that's a different way of looking at it, is that people often respond, you have your planners that start planning early on, that we obviously want to catch them. But what he is a big advocate of is there are a lot of people who respond to last minute deals and last minute specials in communication because they think, oh shit, I have to act now. So maybe that's a different way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's very true actually. I think maybe because I'm a big planner, I actually forget that does actually. So yeah, I think it will be very, very interesting to see what comes out of Black Friday and Cyber Monday this year. I think the whole process and everything, I think it's going to be very different. It's very exciting.
Yeah, very excited to see.
Cool. Does anyone else still have any questions that I can direct at Nadine? If not, then what I'm going to just offer out is this. I'm going to add my email address into the chat. So it's just marketing@uafrica.com. And when you go to bed tonight or on your way home this afternoon or tomorrow morning when you have your cup of coffee, if you think of something that you still want to ask or still want to cover, you're more than welcome to send me an email at marketing@uafrica.com. And if I can't answer it, I'll direct it to Nadine and we will definitely get back to you on that. But other than that, Nadine, thank you so much. I learned so much in this. So thank you very much for sharing all of that.
Well, thanks so much for the opportunity.
Wait, we do have another question before I say goodbye to you. As a beginner, how much do you recommend for advertising?
This is a good question, but a difficult one. I'm glad that you asked this. I think we get this question a lot of times. I don't have a good answer for you. Basically, how Google advertising works. I'm speaking about Google specifically. I'm not sure if that's what you are referring to, but in most cases, it completely depends on the industry. As I mentioned during my talk, Google works in terms of a bidding model, as in you can almost see it as an auction. So for example, if you're focusing on a specific product or a specific keyword, Google goes and it looks how many competitors do you have also wanting to come up for that same keyword or also wanting to target that same product in the same region. The more competitors you have, the more expensive it is to advertise, and the higher budget you would likely have to come in with to start with. The less competitors you have, the less people you have bidding against you, and the lower budget you can come into. So just to give you an idea, these, we call them cost per click. So that's basically what it costs every time someone clicks on your ad and goes through to your website. Can cost anything between 2 Rand a click to 200 Rand a click. So you can see that it varies wildly. So usually what we do for our clients is we do a briefing with them. We understand what they want to focus on, what do they want to target, and the region they want to target. And we can then actually go into Google and do that research for them. And Google can let us know what is the average amount that you can see to expect to pay per click. And we can then work out a monthly budget according to that. Just to give you guys an example, there are some industries that can get away with 5,000 Rand a month because their cost per clicks are very low. These are usually industries that are very niche and very specialized. They don't have a lot of competitors. However, if you're looking at an industry such as insurance and some keywords within accounting, you're looking at paying anything between 300 and 700 Rand per click. So you can see these guys all of a sudden need millions. So it completely depends on your industry and who you are targeting.
Awesome, thank you. And then another question from Cindy. Would you recommend the Google Smart Shopping advertising or Facebook? On a limited budget, we can't often spend on both.
I think when it comes to these, firstly, smart choice on a limited budget. Don't dilute this by focusing on multiple channels. So it's good to start with only one. To be honest with you, I don't necessarily have a favorite one because I think there's a place for both of these. That's why we call it the marketing mix. So it's a good thing that, of course, if you have more budget, to not put all of your eggs into one basket. So I think maybe what I can do is lift out the benefits of each to help you make that decision. Again, when it comes to Facebook advertising, it tends to be more cost effective than Google advertising. But with that being said, Google Smart Shopping really has, as I've lifted out, it helps you to really specify that exact person and to first analyze how high their intent is in actually making that decision before even showing your ad and running the risk of them clicking and costing you money. With this, it actually does work out a lot more cost effective than your traditional Google search. Google Shopping in general tends to work out a bit more affordable. Considering that Google is definitely a higher intent-based platform, I would suggest starting with Google Shopping.
That's awesome. That's really good to know. So thank you for that. I'll make a note of that because I've gotten a similar question from someone before. And I mean, from my perspective, I mean, I'm in a completely different area of e-commerce. So I actually have no idea how to answer that. So thank you.
I might be biased, but Google's machine learning algorithm really is superior to any other one that we have encountered. So it really helps you to spend your budget a lot more effectively and to limit that budget wastage on irrelevant clicks.
Yeah, I mean, I have heard a lot of people struggling just with that exact same thing when using Facebook advertising. I know that there's a lot of companies that we work with that, try and help people to do that, to just kind of figure out which works best for them.
Yeah, sorry, I see there's a question, but something I just want to say on that topic quickly is a difference between Facebook advertising and Google advertising is in both of these cases, if someone clicks on your ad, you pay for it. The difference is with Google, if this person, for example, gets to your site and they realize, oh no, this isn't what I'm looking for, and they leave immediately, so they don't engage or anything like that, we can call it an irrelevant click. Google actually reimburses you that money that you paid for the click to help you to attract more higher quality traffic. Facebook does not do that. So if someone clicks and goes to your site and they leave immediately, you still pay for it, whereas Google reimburses you. So that's maybe also just something to keep in mind when making the decision.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I wasn't aware of that, so that's really great to know. Another question from Cindy. This is actually brilliant. Once you have done your Black Friday campaign, what is your start to retain clients?
So I think running a Black Friday campaign is already a good start to retaining clients, because I think with these big special or promotional periods, you tend to have a big influx of volumes, which means, firstly, I think at the very lower base, you're building your database. But when it comes to Google, having so many people and investing in having so many people actually engage with your brand, come to your website, really put you in a position to build what we call audiences. So now you have those people within your marketing pool. So either they came to your website during Black Friday and they didn't buy with you, in which case you still have them available to market to afterwards and to remarket to, or they came to your site and they did buy, which is great because now we know typically what product are they interested in and what was that basket size, how much are they willing to spend. So now we can start actually using those audiences to target. So going forward, if you're launching a new product, you can market to these people because they came to your site, you have their, I'm going to say details. You don't literally have their physical details. Google does. You don't have access to it, but you have access to that database of audiences that has engaged, and you can definitely market to it afterwards. This is a good way of both retaining those clients that you, or those new clients that you have acquired now, and also mining them and making sure that you get more and more often or regular transactions from them. And you can even maybe, if they bought the eco-friendly toothbrush, let's say next month you can upsell them to your eco-friendly toothpaste if you want to do that. So Google does have a way of accessing these audiences and remarketing other products to them as well.
Fantastic. And I think we'll leave it at that after that awesome question. Thank you, Cindy, for your questions. Those really were great. Thank you, Nadine, for your time and for sharing all of that amazing information. I think we all learned a lot. I know I definitely did.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I hope I could add some value. But yeah, as Danica said, if you guys have got any more questions, please let us know.
Yes, please do. And if you have anything else that you'd like to add or whatever, you're welcome to just send me a mail. But other than that, have a lovely afternoon, everyone. Hopefully I will see some of you tomorrow morning for the next PowerUp series talk. Cool.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.